reconvene our session from June 16th. It is 9:56. Resolution number 25-456 in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 25-456. Mr. Merrill?
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
There are two items for other business. Resolution number 25-457 in the matter of appointing a member to the Delaware County District Library Board of Trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. We have before you a resolution because of the vacancy for an unexpired term, very unfortunately caused by the death of Trustee Bradley Allen. We do have Lisa Kraft to recommend her appointment to fill that seat for the Library Board.
Any other?
I do have a comment. The unfortunate passing of Brad, which was a surprise and a shock to all of us. He lived in Orange Township, and he was very dedicated and very astute and very much aware of the numbers and the financial side of it. And I think it's extremely important that we get somebody who has that same strength. And Lisa Kraft, having been the fiscal officer in Orange before she moved to Berlin Township, I think based on interview more than fits that qualification. And I think she'll be a great addition to the board, as Brad was.
I too, I mean, I've known Lisa through her service as fiscal officer in Orange, and heard wonderful things about her and the quality of her work. And she has a long list of all the work that she has done with her financial expertise. So I'm proud to recommend her for the board.
Yeah, Lisa will do a very nice job. We got a lot of applicants. I don't know, 18, 19,
17
17
total.
applications,
Yes.
which shows there's real interest in the library, which is great. So we have some outstanding candidates.
Right. Okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 25-457. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right, we do have one other appointment resolution. Resolution number 25-458 in the matter of appointing a member to the Delaware Morrow Mental Health and Recovery Services Board.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
And with this one, we do still have a vacancy, or a vacancy that will be starting on July 1 for the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board. We do recommend the appointment of Jody Galloway, and she does meet all the requirements for appointment.
In her work, she's executive director.
She works with the Marion Crawford Prevention Services and brings a lot of experience in this particular field to the position.
Right, she does.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a great interview. I believe she's executive director of that board.
She is, yes. Mm-hmm.
So, okay, vote. Oh,
I just have a comment. I was unable to attend all three of the finalist interviews, and although I made the second to get it in front of the board here, I will be abstaining from the vote for that reason. I don't think it's appropriate that I vote when I was not able to be involved in all three interviews.
okay, vote please.
Vote on motion 25-458. Mr. Merrill is going to abstain. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane.
We may start our 10 o'clock public hearing. We will just
10
note the
o'clock.
time. It is 10 a.m. and we have a public hearing for consideration of the Slate Lick Lateral Number 1 Watershed Drainage Improvement Project. And Commissioner Lewis has a explanation of what we're going to do this morning.
All right, thank you. Let the hearing begin. Welcome to the final hearing for the consideration of the Slate Lick Lateral Number 1 Watershed Drainage Improvement Project. There's a sign-in sheet circulating, and we ask that everyone sign the sheet to indicate your attendance. And here is what we will be doing today. We're going to hear a summary of the final hearing report from the county engineer and Soil and Water Conservation District. And following that summary, there'll be time for questions from the board. After board questions, the board will hear from any interested owners who wish to testify. Those speaking for or against the petition must be an owner, as defined in section 6131.01 of the Ohio Revised Code. The board will acknowledge receipt of any landowner written testimony before hearing live testimony. We will first call all those wishing to testify in favor of the project. Then we will call all those wishing to testify in opposition to the project. Before testifying, you will be asked to take an oath, and after all those wishing to testify for or against the project have been heard, there will be an opportunity for response or rebuttal testimony. The board will close the public hearing after all testimony and evidence has been presented. After listening to testimony and the report of the engineer, the board will decide whether to find in favor of the improvement, affirm the previous order, confirm the assessments, and approve the payment schedule. Or the board may dismiss the petition and set aside the previous order. The board must consider the following factors in making its decision: whether the proposed improvement is necessary, whether the proposed improvement will be conducive to the public welfare, and whether the cost of the proposed improvement will be less than the benefit the improvement provides. With that, I will turn it over to Brett Bacon for his report.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brett Bacon, Delaware Soil and Water Conservation District. Have a brief presentation on the project, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you might have. The Slate Lake Lateral Number 1 Drainage Improvement Project petition was filed June 25th, 2020 by Doug and Suzanne Pusser. On April 26, 2021, the view was held, and on September 2nd, 2021, the first hearing was held. The petition specifically asked for, in Delaware County, Kingston and Brown townships within the Slate Lick Lateral Number 1 watershed, and generally following but not limited to the course and termini of the existing improvements, to generally improve the drainage, both surface and subsurface, to a good and sufficient outlet by replacing, repairing, or altering the existing improvements as required and or creating new surface and subsurface drainage mains or laterals as requested by this ditch petition. The Slate Lick Lateral Number 1 watershed is approximately 53 acres in size. It is 43% rural residential, 29% agricultural, and 27% woods. The original petition was signed by 2 individuals representing 2 of the 10 parcels in the watershed, and you can see those parcels shaded in blue there. The project will be consisting of open channel construction, rock line channel, subsurface drainage tile installation, surface drain swale construction, clearing of brush and vegetation, and seeding and mulching. A very brief drone video, and if you'll pardon me, I have to jump out of the PowerPoint presentation now to play this for some reason. So this is starting on the upstream end over top of the Pusser property, so the petitioners, flying upstream to downstream. In this case, east to west. That is North 3Bs and K Road that you see there. Okay. Some representative pictures. This would be an open channel This is just meant to show basically the type of construction or the elements of construction. Rock line channel, reseeded area following subsurface drain installation, tile main breather, and a surface drain swale. Project cost estimate, construction, $32,850.46. Administration, planning, and construction inspection, $3,717.11. Drainage maintenance, first year startup pay-in, $1,828.38, and contingency of $5,000 for a total construction estimate of $43,395.95. Assessments. The Ohio Revised Code instructs the county engineer to calculate assessments to the benefited property owners based on the benefits received. Code specifically states uplands that have been removed from their natural state by deforestation, cultivation, artificial drainage, urban development, or other human methods shall be considered as benefited by an improvement that is required to dispose of the accelerated flow of water from the uplands. Assessments are calculated by the following formula. Acres benefited times the land use factor times percent use equals the parcel assessment factor. Parcel percent share equals the parcel assessment factor divided by the sum of all the assessment factors, and the parcel assessment then is the percent share times the total estimated cost. Landowners may pay their assessment upfront within 30 days of the final hearing by July 16th in this case. Also must give notice of intent, by July 7th. They can also have the assessment placed on their property tax bill as a special assessment, and choosing this option would incur interest and other fees if the project is bonded, as well as an auditor treasurer's fee of 2%. An amortization example, this is assuming no upfront payments. We have our total estimated cost of $43,395.95. The average assessment, excluding the right-of-way, is $3,315.25, or a 7.6% share of the project. Debt issuing fees, for example, of $8,000. Bond interest, 4% example, would equal $1,735.81 for a total estimated cost of $53,131.76. 7.6% of this total estimated cost would be $4,038. 2% for the auditor treasurer's fees would be $80.76 for a total assessment of the average parcel of $4,118.76. Spread over an 8-year repayment schedule, this would give us a semi-annual payment of $257.42. All approved projects are advertised for public bid for construction, with the lowest and best bid to be awarded the contract. And these projects are typically not subject to prevailing wage. Bids may not be accepted in excess of the final hearing engineer's estimate, and the final schedule of assessments is reduced pro rata by the difference between the estimated cost and final cost if it is indeed lower. In this case, upfront payments would receive a refund. All projects completed under 6131 are required by 6137 to be placed under the drainage maintenance program. The purpose of drainage maintenance is to keep the project operating at its designed capacity. Maintenance funds are collected as a special assessment, and common maintenance activities include inspections, seeding, repairs, and erosion control. Maintenance assessments are determined based on the final schedule of construction assessments, and most of our projects average between 2.5% to 5% annually. Collection percentage can vary depending on the maintenance needs of the project, and drainage maintenance is perpetual. Going back to our example, using our average construction assessment of $33,1525 and assuming a 5% maintenance collection plus the auditor treasurer's fees, this would equal an annual maintenance assessment of $169.08. You can see there for the first 8 years, both the maintenance and construction assessments would be collected simultaneously, and then when the construction assessment is paid off, just the $84.54 per half would be left. Cost benefit. Benefits of drainage improvements exist for both agricultural and residential parcels. The benefit to agricultural parcels is realized by the increased yield as a result of good drainage. Estimated yield increases giving the soils in the area would average 46 bushels per acre for corn and 14 bushels per acre for soybeans, given the appropriate drainage improvements are in place. The USDA average crop price, let me back up. These figures that I'm going to present to you are updated from what is presented in the final hearing report, and that's just because the USDA updated their numbers, so I just wanted to show you more current numbers. USDA average crop price from 2020 to 2024 for corn is $5.16 per bushel, and soybeans $12.73 per bushel. 16 acres of the land in the watershed is currently agricultural. For corn, this would equal an average annual increase of $3,797.76, and for soybeans, $2,851.52, giving us an average annual benefit of $3,324.64. This gives us a potential 20-year return of $66,492.80. Benefits to residential parcels are typically found in two ways: the increased marketability of a home and functionality of a home site sewage treatment system. A failed home site sewage treatment system can cost $15,000 to $25,000 to repair or replace. New developments average around $8,700 per lot spent on providing adequate drainage outlets. With 6 residential parcels in the watershed, this gives us a potential average benefit of $52,200. Other benefits commonly perceived focus on quality of life and positive neighborhood perception. The lack of an adequate outlet for roadway drainage can lead to standing water, resulting in traffic safety hazards and increased routine maintenance of the roadway surface. Decisions. This is an easy one for you. There's no other laterals or no if-thens on this project. You can either approve the project in whole or deny the project in whole. Approval will require setting repayment period and whether to bond, confirming the schedule of assessments, and ordering the project to be advertised for competitive bid. If the decision is to deny, it is recommended to distribute costs incurred to this point to the landowners in the same ratio as determined by the final schedule of assessments. Those estimated costs to date equal $2,000. Engineer's recommendation. Based on all of the information gathered and generated, I believe this project as proposed is technically feasible and would serve as an adequate outlet for the drainage needs of the watershed. Furthermore, the parcel assessments for this project are within the range of assessments that can be expected for a project of this scope. The testimony brought to the Board of Commissioners by the landowners as to whether the benefits of this project exceed the cost should be given significant consideration in the decision to move forward with this project.
Okay, thank you very much. Does the board have any questions?
I have none.
Okay. I will then call for anyone who wishes to speak for the project. If you could, sure, come right up and I will swear you in. Do you solemnly swear that the testimony that you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. Sir, if you could state your name, address, and, there's just one, and your parcel number, actually.
Okay, I'm Doug Pusser, 2978 North 3Bs in K Road, Sudbury, Ohio, and we have 2 parcels. We have a 5-acre lot and then like a 17-acre lot behind it. I think they are
They're
separated off.
labeled number
Okay.
6 and 7 on the map.
Yeah.
Six
Okay,
and seven.
thank you. Could you give us your name again?
Doug Pusser.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, we moved in about 10 years ago. I don't know if you can show that map again of the area that has deteriorated. Yeah. Or just the area video. Apparently, there is drainage that farmers have put in,
Okay.
tile, and then we had a surface drainage that goes underneath 3Bs into K Road. Yeah, there we go. That's good. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
So if I point to this corner, you can see this whole mass of, let's see, like 2 acres now. None of that existed when we moved in 10 years ago. It was fine. We have an underground tile that goes through Mr. Pennington's property. Mr. Matt Landon.
No, we cannot see what you're pointing at.
Yeah, we can't see what you're
Can we approach the bench? Does it show you?
Yeah, well.
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, here. So this area here, none of that existed 10 years ago.
Okay.
It was perfectly fine. we have a drainage tile that cuts across Mr. Pennington's property, all these properties in Mr. Bauer's property, and that's where all this water was to drain. So we have two problems. One, the tile has been severed. We dug up in this location right here, and it's totally full of mud. The tile no longer drains underneath. We noticed this year that Mr. Pennington dyed his pond blue, bluish green. That water is, we saw drain, Mr. Bauer and I own a helicopter together at one point. That water is draining properly into his front lot. So we know that that line does work up to that point. Mr. Lanham thought that these willow trees maybe have grown through that irrigation. For the underground problem. The above ground problem is when it drains across this way, all of this land here has grown over, trees are fallen, and that water is dammed to now it can't properly drain. And we see it just constantly increasing. It's approaching now the property to the south of us, and we just see that the problem is continuing to grow. I guess I would question, again, I don't know the scope of what we're doing for the $35,000.
Tell you what, if you could go back
Sure.
up, and then that way everybody can hear you.
Maybe that's a good one. Is the plan to do a new ditch down deeper under
Sir,
TB?
talk to the mic,
Okay.
and then he
Is-
can hear you.
Is the plan to dig down deeper under 3Bs and a K to go kind of lower so the flow of the water can? And then regarding the drainage, are we going to try to tap into the line that's already there going to Mr. Bauer's?
So the plans would propose new open channel downstream of, or west of 3Bs and K Road that would be deep enough to facilitate a subsurface drain outlet. And the subsurface drain would then be completely replaced from starting on the west side of 3Bs and K Road through the road and then up to Mr. Pusser's property. Along with that, there would be a surface channel constructed that would allow that surface water to drain then through under 3Bs and K Road and then on downstream.
Okay. Thank you. Brett.
So the water's all going to follow that new channel, even, okay.
So you're for this?
I'm 100% for it because
Okay.
I've lost 2 acres and it's just getting worse and worse and worse, and I don't, it's not going to improve.
Okay.
So we have to do something.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank
Does anyone else wish to speak in favor of the project? Anyone else? Okay, is anyone in opposition to the project? Does anyone wish to speak in opposition? Okay, I didn't see anyone. Okay, no one wishes to speak in opposition. And, okay. Then
We can just note the
We can
close
just
of the
close.
public comment period for, I will note that it is 10:20, and then we can discuss which resolution you want me to read.
Okay, 10:20, the hearing is
I would direct that the clerks give the resolution in favor of the project.
Resolution number 25-459, in the matter of finding in favor of the improvement and affirming the order for the Slate Lake Lateral Number 1 Watershed Drainage Improvement Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion.
I believe, based on what I've heard and the fact there was no negative comment today, that the proposal is necessary. The proposed improvement will be conducive to the public welfare, and the cost of proposed improvements will be less than the benefits the improvement provides, and therefore I do support it.
I would just echo those comments. I think this one's much more straightforward than many of them we see.
Yes.
This one's pretty straightforward, and I support it.
I support it too, for the reasons that you both stated. Vote, please.
Vote on motion 25-459. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 25-460, in the matter of the Commissioners confirming the assessments, approving the payment schedule, and ordering the letting of contracts for the Slate Lake Lateral Number 1 Watershed Drainage Improvement Petition Project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 25-460. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
All right.
We are in recess until 1:30 for viewing.
Thank you. We are in recess until 1:30 for our viewing. Thank you very much, everybody.